I purchased some items off Facebook. I paid for them through my PayPal account. They did not fit. I contacted the vendor and could not find resolution. I contacted PayPal to find a resolution, and they refused to refund my premium. Okay, so I saw an ad for some clothing on Facebook, and I placed an order and I paid through PayPal. The order came in a month later, and none of the items fit. So what I did was I followed the refund directions that were sent with the package to contact the vendor and request a return email address within 48 hours so I could send the items back. I then contacted the vendor on Facebook because I had not received my email confirmation to send the items back. And at that point, then they started referring me to their service department to contact the service department to get the refund process started. And at this point, we're past the 48 hours. I kept sending emails back and forth to the service company because at first they wanted photos of the items. They wanted descriptions of the items. I sent all of that information to them, and then they repeatedly asked for the same information multiple times. At that point, I contacted PayPal because I used PayPal to pay for the order, and I asked them to intervene, and I told them the entire scenario. Hey, I've contacted this company trying to get the return email address so I can send these items back. They have told me at first that they were located in Atlanta, Georgia, and then they turned around and said, well, no, we're located in China, and it would cost too much to return the items by shipping. So let us give you a 10% refund on your items, and you keep all these items that don't fit. And I told PayPal that was not acceptable. I wanted a full refund for the items that I had purchased, and the vendor was not communicating. PayPal told me that because even though the items didn't fit, it's not covered in their policy to refund me my money, and that the only thing that they would do is make a notation on the vendor's, I don't know what they call the vendor's file, that they did not comply and give me a refund. I provided PayPal with all of the email communications between me and the vendor, along with a copy of the vendor's return policy that they included with the orders, which simply stated that I needed to respond to them within 48 hours after receiving the items. They would send me the email address confirmation to send the items back. The vendor never sent me the email confirmation to send the items back, and instead they were giving me the constant runaround to do things that weren't even included in the process. When I contacted PayPal, I sent them the copies of all the emails that I had sent to the vendor to show that I had acted in good faith to try to resolve this issue with them. And PayPal's response to me was that they would open up a claim dispute, which they did, and then they closed the claim dispute and stated that because the items didn't fit, that was not a reason for them to go ahead and refund me my premium, even though the vendor failed to honor their part of our contract. I have used PayPal before and have had no problems. This one time when I did have a problem, and I am feeling that I am correct, PayPal is choosing not to support me. I would expect that they would look at all the factors, and if the buyer is correct and the seller failed to do what they're supposed to do, they should refund the premium. I would advise you to not necessarily believe that PayPal will support the buyer of a product, even though you are able to provide them documentation that you did everything you were supposed to do in trying to work with the seller to resolve an issue.